What's up, party people, bass heads, people of the world? It's your boy, the OG, Soda Pop Kid, coming to you direct. And as many tutorials as I did on my trophy setup, every couple of years, I may do a small one again. This is not really a tutorial on every trophy that I won in car audio. I'm just showing them to you because I'm talking about this year, this year's accomplishments, even though I didn't travel. Only been out of state twice to the Big Ohio Brand X Resilient Sound Show, and I've been to Slamology. And that was my first time back at Slamology since 2019. So that's the only two times that I went out of state. Because I haven't been out of state, man. At one point, from 2019 and below, I was out of state a lot competing. I was like going to Ohio a lot. Columbus is one of them. South Amherst and Cincinnati and places of Ohio that even Ohio people probably never heard of, man. So every once in a while, I just come and show all my trophies, plaques, medals, and certificates. And that there's up to date 842 of them. And I tell people, I do remember when I went to when I started competing, first couple of years, I won nothing. So I've always went to shows at that point preparing to lose. But I was learning, as I was going. I was learning. All right. And needless to say, when I leave this world, none of this is going with me. So we only enjoy it while we have it, okay? So I'm just putting that out there. None of this stuff we have, money, nothing, clothes, nothing is going with us. And you wonder what your family is going to do with all of this stuff. Like, what is my family members, if they even give a damn? Because I'm learning some stuff, right? I'm learning some stuff about my side of the family that it seems like nobody really gives a fuck, really. When you're gone, you're just gone. Who do I make the beneficiary of anything, right? Who do I put whatever happens to me in the hands of who? There's one particular person that I was considering if something was to happen to me, because I have insurance and all of that, man. I'm not one that's going to leave everybody hanging. If I was to leave here, I knew I would do this. I knew once I built this down here that I was going to be kicking it by accident. As long as I kick it with shoes on, I'm good. But anyway, I always wondered who was going to be responsible, the one I put in the responsibility. I'm going to go ahead and turn this light out now. And the responsibility of me, if I was to leave here. I have insurance and everything. So they wouldn't have to, everything would be paid for basically, but who would I give that responsibility to? And the person that I was thinking about giving the responsibility to, I got into it with them over something stupid. And I'm not even going to talk about it. And I was like, nah, I'm not putting them the responsibility of nothing. Because there's somebody that wants my attention when they want my attention. But then when they do something that I feel is disrespectful, then in other words, they want to be able to say or do to me whatever they want, but when I fire at them back, and all it has to be is a simple word, their feelings get hurt. And I'm like, all right, you can have your feelings. And I just was like, nah. God was telling me, now don't put it in the hands of this person. They're a crybaby. But anyway, I showed you all of my accomplishments in car audio. You know what I mean? I have world championships. I have like 30-something state championships. And our states is coming up on September 13th. So this is, don't pay attention to this trophy. This was from 2015 World Finals in Alabama for parking pound. I was third place. Don't pay attention to that. That's not a part of this. And neither is these right here. These was all 2015 right here too. Don't pay attention to these. For years I've been trying to find new spots to put trophies. I'm always finding new spots. Even though I think I run out of spots. But it's getting to that point. When it comes to an actual trophy, there would be no spots left unless I create spots and make room for spots, even if it ends up getting in my way of me just walking through a room to get to another point of the house. I'll have to be ducking shelves, and I don't want to do that. Okay? All of this stuff here is on this particular wall here. I built this platform like at the beginning of 2026 season for me. I built that platform when I was building my baffle. I took time out to build that platform, and I thought about it first. So what you're looking at is all of 2026 accomplishments, and I've only been to approximately 6 or 7 shows. That's it, and most of them's been local. So we got one more show, and like I said, I've been to Brand X. I went to Brand X Resilient Sounds because you got the awards right there saying that, and then some. And then we've had them down here since April, down here right in my hometown, basically, at Memorial Park. You know what I mean? And for all the people that came and support our shows, thank you for that. But you got people that live right here in town that didn't come and support them. Well, thank y'all too. And it's one of them things that if it was televised or something, everybody would have their ass down there in their Sunday best. Their best outfit in the closet. Ass all poking out their jeans and all that. Eyelashes about 5 foot long. They be down there then. But it's okay. You know, it's always when somebody makes it big or something, y'all want to be a part of their world and all of that then. But I'm used to that, right? But anyway, all of these plaques right here, them couple, and you go from down here, it's all 2026. These, all of them plaques, except for right here. This was World Finals. See, 2025 is ending. This was World Finals. Just the plaques and that one medal was World Finals for 2025. When I went to Worlds, that was my first time back at Worlds in like 10 years. Yep. And I went and didn't do bad for my first time back. I'm thinking about Worlds. I'm not 100% positive if I'm going to go to Worlds. Yeah, I do qualify in Worlds in several classes. There's one class that even after states, I'm still going to need points. And I'm kind of upset about that because I'm in the rankings in that class, but I started entering that class late. Okay, and I might need one more show from somewhere if I really think I'm going to go to Worlds, but right now Worlds is up in the air because I'm burned out again. I'm actually burned out. You know what I mean? I was talking about putting a plexiglass window in front of the window. There's one way I was going to do it. And then I decided, no, I want to get it welded in. And then I presented it to one of my mechanics. He thinks it's going to be harder than what it's going to be. I brought all the metal, and he thinks it's going to be harder than what it's really going to be. And then when it came to that, you know, and I got kind of tired of going to him from Monday to Monday. And it's like after hours, which is cool, but it's only going to be a couple hours working into it before somebody gets tired. Me, I can be on something all night, and I'm 62 years old. But, you know, him having a family and kids, and that's something different. And I don't like dragging something from week to week to week to week. It starts to burn me out, man. It starts to, oh, this is never going to get done. And he got kind of discouraged over it. You know what I mean? Before it can even get there. And I was like, man, forget it. Or I can go back and do what I was planning on doing by making a wooden frame go around the car and mounting the metal frame to the wooden frame, and then it can just be removed. It can just be pulled out. You know what I mean? Period. It can just go in, get mounted, and then be removed. Now, I still got that in consideration. But anyway, once you move over to this, it's 2026, and the trophies are all 2026. Okay? So like I said, right here where it says 2025 ends, it's just the plaques. And then when you go from there, all of this stuff, from here is all the 2026 accomplishments. And like I said, I only entered like 6 shows technically now. So it would be 8 at the end, or 9 at the end if I go to Worlds. And it's pretty good. It's how many trophies did I win? Like 50 something. And just that little bit of shows, it's 50 something awards. And I have it all calculated in my phone. I do. How many it actually was. It's about 50, I don't know, 54, 55 awards locally, just locally. Now, one of my guys, he's from Cleveland, Charles Simone. He's like I used to be. I was ambitious and I was hitting 19 shows a season. No matter what. Well, that was just Mecca alone. And then the other little, you know, like ISCA, USAC, and DB Dragon shows, I mean, forums like that I would hit as well. I was ambitious, driving my car from state to state to state. That same car when it was black and yellow. So, in other words, my car's not a trailer queen. That car's been driven to Florida. Driven to Indianapolis, Indiana. Driven, I say this, Tennessee, Kentucky, Cincinnati, and all that's been driven, been firing right up and going, still firing right up. But I know I've been beating the living hell out of that frame with the Thunder. Beating it now, my roof is loosening up. Now I got a fiberglass, resin and glass matted, and all this stuff to try to get it back stiff again and drill little holes up, in there and shoot a spandam foam in there half to death. You know what I mean? To get it back stiff. So, yeah. It's just, I've been working on the car hard for states. Hard trying to get it, the scores up with just 615s. Working on it hard. Wearing myself out. So I'm saying that to say this. Like next season, there may not be a next season for me, man. I'm really considering falling back and demoing, even if I do get a new equipment. I may fall back, come to certain shows maybe, and demo. And then I can concentrate on just giving people demos. Because I know at the big Ohio show, and Slamology, I did not get to demo at all. No Slam, I take that back. Slam, I did get in 7 demos. Because it was that show was a whole entire weekend, that's why. You know what I mean? It was a Friday night, which I didn't make it to because of complications with the car. But it was Saturday, I didn't compete at all. Saturday, I did go and I just demoed. That's all I did. And I walked and watched everybody else that day. And Sunday, I competed. And didn't get to get a demo in because I had complications with the car again. You know, I was leaving my last run through. I was getting ready to go pull up back at VIP and demo some more. And the car, not my fault, the fuel pump, the electric fuel pump died. Out of all things, man. That's why I'm afraid to buy electrical stuff. That's why I won't buy an electrical power steering pump. That's the reason. And I did have an electrical water pump that claimed that it lasts for 3,000 hours. And I tried to calculate on how I drive that car or how long that water pump, but I ended up removing it, and it wasn't because of that. Because my mind is, if it's electrical, it's going to die. Yeah, it'll die without a moment's notice, even when it's not time for it, because that's what happens. If it's man-made, it's going to break. Y'all understand that, right? But for the newcomers, you know, people that, don't go blurry on me, people that didn't ever see my trophy, I'll show this, but I just wanted to show this for this year. So I just thought I just do a walk around real quick. You know what I mean? And my boy, like I said, Charles Simone, he's killing them. That boy's traveling everywhere. He enters every damn class. So I enter 6 classes. This dude's entering like 10 classes. So he's winning way more awards, you know. The last couple of shows I left with 9 awards. Each show was 9 first places two times in a row. It's all 9. Like there's all 9 of them, all first place. And then I did it the last show before that. So I did it August show and July show. At one specific show. You know what I mean? And yeah, I did some organizing too. I had to organize them all. Some I had to take down and re-put up. You know what I mean? I got this space, so even behind this trophy, I can put some plaques. I can put a couple behind here that can fit. And then from there, what's going to end up happening, I'm going to have to come around here like I'm going down the steps and put them on the back. Now, if I was to compete next year and it was all plaques, I can actually fill this side up with plaques. Because plaques is not in the way. They don't get in the way. They're mounted down. Or I can plaque this half to death going down the steps if it was just plaques. You know what I mean? Even hit that little wooden John right there, because plaques will never be in the way. But next year, I'm thinking about falling back and demoing. Like I said, even if I do get new equipment, I might get a whole new another vehicle and with new equipment and all, because all that competing does nothing but put wear and tear on the equipment, bro. And then it's buying amps and something happens to an amp or a sub and you got to return it, and it's just, I'm burned out. And this happens every year. I fall back, and then the money is spent as well, man. So, you know. And then I've been neglecting my dancing for car audio. This is what happens when you have all of these hobbies, bro. This is what happens when you have all these hobbies. I'm doing more than just one thing at my age. I'm dancing, car audio, and I stand for hours cutting hair. So I'm doing, you know, a lot of things, bro. So it's getting a little tiring, it is. So, you know, like I said, 54 trophies and only so many shows is a good accomplishment. There's times I won 58 over there. Here was 50 that season, that was 2018. Yeah, that was a good year and a bad year. The 2018 is when I first got a serpentine belt system thrown in my car. And I fought with all of that. I fought with it, bro. I fought with it. You know what I mean? Y'all caught me slipping. I'm in basketball shorts too. I ain't in no boxers. I caught me slipping for a minute because I'm up here comfortable in my own house until I open up my barber shop. And don't ask me no dumb questions and ask me what that mirror's for. People are like, what that mirror for? What do you think the mirror's for? Even though that hasn't happened in God knows how long. What do you think the mirror's for, bro? Oh, that's for me staring at myself when I throw on a nice outfit. That's part of it. If I throw on a nice outfit, glimpsing it real quick. That's part of it. I got a way longer mirror than that in my barber shop. It's from head to toe. But anyway, yeah, so that's that on this, bro. So, yeah, I'm getting burned out. I am. Even though certain things is getting straightened out, like the alternator, that one part, the way that it's set up right now, is that it's running at its straightest. And I'm learning that all alternators, no matter how strong they are, and you know, you're out there beating on them, you know, beating on them in the hot sun and beating on your system in them and all of that with a strong-ass battery, they're still gonna, the voltage is still gonna drop. You know, it's still gonna drop. You know what I mean? Them double XL 320s, you know, they do 240 at idle. You know what I mean? I'm driving and they're supposed to kick off 320, I think, at 2,000 RPMs or that. Yeah. When you're when you're driving and beating the hell out of it, you know what I mean? And you get back to the house and you had it set at 15.8 volts on highway driving and stuff. It's going to be at like 15.5 when you get home. And they're saying that we're hot under here. The engine's hot, we're hot, and this is what you're getting. We're hot as hell. And those things be 180 something degrees. Because I do the two on the one side, when I put a heat gun on them, a temperature gun, they're reading at 189 or 190, and the two on the other side be at like 145 and 150 and 145, and I'll be like, oh man, these ones on the driver's side, it's hot. They do get hot. Maybe not as fast as fire up, but once you start driving and using them, yeah, they get hot. I may need to put fans back on them. Find a new way to put fans on them instead of them big ass things that's in the way. Need to find a way to get some good flat fans and then make a bracket for that. It comes from the front of the engine. It would be interesting, but it would work. It would work automatically, trust me. It would be interesting, though. You know what I mean? I just got to find a big enough regular square fans, and a bracket can be made. That would not be hard to do. You know? And that's it. But, just giving y'all some thoughts here. Boy, it's your boy, the OG. Soda Pop Kid. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And like I said, you know, next year, I'll be showing up at shows just a demo for people. Like there's a lot of guys out there with some badass builds. They don't compete. They just demo them and show them off. That's what they do, and they come to shows to show them off. I always wanted to be competitive, and all right, so I got it. I got so many awards to look at, man, and look back on, and be happy about that. Peace.